So do you think that deep neural networks can really be creative? Could we use deep neural networks to make art?
So I think deep neural networks have definitely surpassed humans in creativity, and like for many for the greatest part of mankind's history, it was understood that a certain artistic feel or quality was superior to quantity. And then when the Industrial Revolution happened, all of that changed. People wanted to be able to get things efficiently, and so fast production won over uh, finer production. And in fact, we can see neural networks as being uh, that kind of revolution, and while in the past, like mechanical processes can be replicated with mechanical machines, but mental processes need to be imitated via mental machines, which is what neural networks are.
Yeah, because kind of the way a neural network works is it really captures just about all the essential things that a brain does. It fires,
Hmm.
it drops, it
Some
fires.
neurons fire,
There's
artificial neurons fire.
stochasticity. Yeah, there's just we model both in neurons.
Glucose, right? Like in the brain.
Yeah, it's kind of especially now that they have because it used to just be a that there was one kind of connection in the in the neural network. They just had weights and edges. But now the multiply nodes and all these different things.
Hmm.
It's basically it's really not so important what it is, but that the variety of it is there because
Hmm.
that's kind of what's going on in the brain. You have
Diversity.
diversity of axons, calcium channels,
Hmm.
potassium channels, sodium channels,
Hmm.
and then you've got the receptors,
Hmm.
and they're constantly depositing vesicles
To the
into the
mind.
intracellular space. Yeah, well, that's what the
Hmm.
mind
The
is
manifold, yeah.
is the manifold of the
Hmm.
cortex, and
Hmm.
that's basically. And the brain does art, so therefore a neural network. I mean, obviously, it's an artist, right?
Hmm.
When you think about it that way.
And in fact, neural networks also have an additional property that make them more interesting than human brains, and that they can actually produce art much faster. And when you think about that a bit harder, while this wasn't a problem for our more primitive societies today, in the days of personalization and user delight, uh, uh, you know, music listeners, for instance, expect music tailored to their taste.
Yeah, like say you just play saxophone or
Hmm.
whatever gets you off,
Jazzy.
and you just know that like until now it's just self-indulgent. It was just for yourself.
Hmm.
But I mean, no one really before Google, I don't think, was ever able to do art at scale.
Hmm. And this skill is kind of necessary. So you can, uh, there's already some, there's already some secretive projects at Google. They're actually deploying this in their first self-driving cars, where they'll have music that's completely tailored to your taste. So in effect, um, so this effort started off when Google first acquired two European startups that focused on digital music creation software. And we've seen this trend, right? And a lot of musicians today, they are very much like la la la, and now and now everything's changed. Like now, they got used to producing music on digital media, on editing, on sharing, and co-creating with collaborators to achieve you know great music. And the two features really stood out there. Like the reason why these two startups got acquired. One was instrument recommendation. So the the different algorithms in the software would listen to what music sounded like, and would play something that would mesh pretty well, like something. Like maybe you needed like a bit more spice somewhere, and the software would help you out.
Yeah, it's the cloud calibration.
Cloud calibration, and it's definitely we're very fortunate to be in the cloud calibration times. And the second feature that really stood out in both of these European startups was note recommendation. So essentially, they've completely digitized and improved the music creation process. So in the past, uh, you had to learn music, and we've seen for many years that students have struggled with this. Uh, Adults kind of feel shameful about it, and that's ended up creating this discontent among the population as to like no longer want to learn to produce music. But the key now is that you can actually collaborate with the machine to create music. Like, you can still click the buttons to create the extra notes.
Yeah, if you want to churn butter, or if you want to make lettuce from scratch out of the raw ingredients, then then you could do that. But it's 2016. Like Y Combinator's been around for like 5 years now. And the world's not changing; it's already changed. And to be choosing, like just manually picking all the notes, playing all the music is kind of crazy.
And unfortunately, that was the process that even all the greats went through. So really, when you think of the greats like Beethoven and Bach, so both of them actually never actually followed any set rules to produce music. They in fact lived far longer than most people their time. They lived to be both 150 years old.
Yeah, I think so.
And that gave them enough time to try all random permutations of music within some given set of constraints, and that's what let them compose their masterpieces.
Yeah.
And in fact, like neural networks have basically web scaled this process. And now what used to take a life.
Yeah, I mean Beethoven didn't have like what were the GPU they'd buy in 1870?
Like they like
1770.
What's the resolution of paper? Like what 50p? Like,
yeah, graphical paper units.
Joke.
That's basically how he wrote his music.
So,
and the thing is, the human, is trying to think about too much. I think that's kind of where humans go wrong and why they'll never truly be able to do art at scale. Is that to do art at scale, you can't just count on having a genius who's just gonna like just one time and just pluck out all the right notes. You have to really do what computer scientists do best, which is you have to break it down into
core
modular subproblems, and then you can recurse on it.
Understand each one.
And I think that we've been kind of doing art iteratively in a way that's totally unsustainable, and that's probably why people are about to get their minds blown as things progress.